Okay, this is Lady Beth getting ready to make a video. I'm going to do for the first time buckwheat pancakes. My husband and I are gluten-free. We can't have the wheat, so we can't really have the flour. Occasionally we'll eat a roll or two. But one of his most favorite things is pancakes. So I've been wanting to make these buckwheat pancakes. Can't find buckwheat flour in the store. But what I did find is whole grain buckwheat. So gluten-free buckwheat. It says wheat, but it's not wheat, okay? It's still gluten-free. And so I found the whole grain, and what I did is I ground it up into a buckwheat flour. So I'm going to attempt to make some buckwheat pancakes for my husband. I'm going to alter the recipe that I found online just a little bit to fit our nutritional needs, and hopefully they turn out okay. So stick with me. Okay, so we're going to start off with our dry ingredients in a medium-sized mixing bowl. 1 cup of buckwheat flour, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. That's what's all in here. I'm going to dump that in there, and then we're going to mix up the dry ingredients. Okay, so I've mixed the dry ingredients. Now we're going to do our wet ingredients in this measuring cup right here. All right, the recipe calls for 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk, but I'm going to alter it just a little bit. So I'm going to use 1 cup of soy organic milk and 1/4 cup of soy yogurt. Mix that together so that it has sort of the same consistency of buttermilk, but it keeps me and Dr. Leonard kind of in line with where we are as blood type A and blood type O individuals. So I have here 1 cup of soy milk, organic soy milk, and we're going to take the vanilla or soy yogurt and add 1/4 cup to this milk. Just a tad bit more. Okay. The next wet ingredient is 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And add that to that. I think I want a little more vanilla, personally. All right. Next, I'm going to add 1 cage-free, free-range, organic, non-genetically modified brown egg to the mixture. Crack that. I'm going to add that. And then we're going to mix this up. Okay, as you can see, the consistency of the wet mixture is kind of thick, but I've mixed it all together. And so now we're going to gradually combine the wet with the dry right here in this bowl. Until the batter is nice and smooth. Got all the goodies in here. Now the one thing about this batter is after I mix it and make it smooth, then we have to let it sit for about 5 minutes for the baking powder and soda to be activated and create, some air in the batter so that your pancakes are fluffy and not too dense. So I've mixed this till it's smooth, as you can see. And now we're going to just let it rest for about 5 minutes. So as you can see, the batter has thickened quite substantially, and it's coming together, and it's ready to be put in the pan. So I've got my pan set to a medium heat. I'll start with medium heat. Instead of using any oil, I'm going to use some ghee, which is clarified butter, to kind of coat the pan before I put the mix in. And I think I won't need but about a tablespoon or so of that. So I put 1 teaspoon in there, and then another teaspoon in there. I'm going to let that heat up in the pan and let the pan get to a medium heat. All right, so I've tested the pan and it's ready for the batter. So like I said, I used ghee. It's rather expensive type of butter, but it's clarified. So, and this ghee is made from milk from grass-fed cows. So, it's better than just regular butter in that it's clarified. They pull a lot of the dross and the lactose and dairy out of it. So, I've lined the pan with the ghee. I'm going to take medium-sized spoonfuls and just gently drop maybe 3 of these in the pan. And I think that's about 1/4 of a cup, if you will. Drop this down just a little bit more. Wait, I should bag it up. There we go. So you can see the pancakes here in the pan. You can see that. So of course, I'm not going to flip them until I get quite a few bubbles on top of each pancake. And right now we're at medium heat, which is good because you don't want to cook too fast, you don't want them to brown too fast, but you want to cook them through. So medium heat is great for the consistency of this type of batter. All right, looks like we got several air bubbles on top here, as you can see. And so I'm going to go ahead and try to flip them gently. They have a nice golden brown color because it is buckwheat. So it's not going to be your traditional almost white pancakes. They're going to look a little browner and a little bit different. Go ahead and let those cook on the flip side. And while those are cooking on the flip side, I've got some fresh, cleaned strawberries and blueberries that I'm going to add to Dr. Woodard's pancakes. Okay. So what I typically do is if you will, cut the heads off of the strawberries and I slice them. You know what size the strawberries are, in smaller pieces, along with the blueberries. And I'm going to take some pure maple syrup and drizzle all over this fruit. And that is going to be what we will top our pancakes with after we put a pat of plant-based butter. And even though I'm frying them in the ghee, I'm still going to put some plant-based butter on top. So we got the fresh berries here. To these berries, I'm going to add some pure maple syrup. Okay, here we have our pure maple syrup. This is not log cabin, this is not Aunt Jemima, this is pure maple syrup. Okay, so no high fructose corn syrup is in it. It's pure maple syrup. It comes from the maple tree. We're going to pour it over this fruit like that, about 1/4 of a cup, and give it a stir. Just like that. Coat this fruit in that pure maple syrup. Gives it a beautiful glaze and it's going to taste amazing. Alright, here's my plant butter. Got a stick right here. I'm going to open that up. Get ready to put a few pats of it on these pancakes while they're in the pan. Okay, so here's one pat. Another pat. that on top of that one. I'm going to flip them. Once again, flip them. Oh, they're nice and brown. I'm going to turn them again. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to put them on a plate. So I have here a beautiful plate. This is how I feed my husband. I don't do no paper plates in my house. I don't. Okay, and I think I'm going to tier them so that we can get a nice amount, a good amount of fruit on each of the pancakes. And turn it off. You can see how beautiful and golden. It's a deeper golden, but that's the nature of, in the color of buckwheat pancakes. Slide this to the side, and then I've got all this delicious fruit. Alright, sister, where you gonna put all that fruit on there? I sure am. Watch me. So I'm just gonna hold the fruit like this. This is what we're gonna do. Because he needs all this fruit on top of those pancakes. And he needs to serve too. Look at that, y'all. Look. Buckwheat pancakes. Topped with pure maple syrup